Okay, guys.
When you write quickly, your steno machine may register separate strokes as if they were written at the same time. Eclipse Composite Eclipse Composite dictionary entries can unscramble this mess. This one dictionary entry performs 3 steps. First, it creates a question paragraph, then it inserts the word yes, then it ends the sentence with a period. Here, a suffix S was written, immediately followed by a question stroke. Eclipse understands a glance at the list, it's choice 3. Of course, I could have also gotten help from the special entries list, but because of the global magic features, even that help was not needed. I'll place this in my main dictionary.
Okay, understand what they were saying there? That's exactly what I was telling you guys that we were just talking about. When you stack or write your strokes together. So we'll go through it one more time.
When you write quickly, your steno machine may register separate strokes as if they were written at the same time. Eclipse Composite dictionary entries can unscramble this mess. This one dictionary entry performs...
Okay, y'all see what it's doing there? Y'all see what it's doing there? Right here, it has the question, answer yes, with a period. That's exactly the way that it's defined there. Okay? So if for some reason it stacks like that, or you stroke like that, that's how you define it, right there. Okay?
3 steps. First, it creates a question paragraph, then it inserts the word yes, then it ends the sentence with a period. Here, a suffix S was written, immediately followed by a question stroke. Eclipse understands a glance at the list, it's choice 3.
Do y'all see why it's choice 3? Do y'all see why it's choice 3?
Yes, because the S was supposed to be in a bottle.
Yes. It was supposed to be 2 bottles. So, if you pick number 2, what's number 2 going to do?
It's going to put the S after the question.
It's going to put the S after the question, not before the question. So what it's doing right here is it's telling you it's a suffix S that needs to go before the question. Y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
Very careful, guys. Very careful about putting entries in. Okay? And knowing what you're doing. Okay? Because if you define it wrong and you put it like this, it's gonna put question S and then start the rest of the thing off, and it's not gonna do what it was supposed to do. No big deal. We just learned kind of the hard way that that's not the way you do it. Go back and redefine it. Okay? But, I mean, you know, it's still fixable, not that big of a deal, but that's how you do it. But see how many different, you know, examples that it gives you? You know, it doesn't know what you were trying to stroke there, whether it was question, no sir, question. And that's the way that some of the students have started writing, which it would have been maybe an O in here. Question, OS. And that's their symbol for no sir, question. Make sense? I don't know if you guys are doing that or not. I don't really care or whatever, but that's the way you define it if you do. Okay?
Of course, I could have also gotten help from the special entries list, but because of the global magic features, even that help was not needed. I'll place this in my main dictionary.
Any questions? Not real hard, but any questions? It can get confusing, guys. It can get confusing. So if you have any questions, you know, don't be scared to ask, okay? Questions? All right. So see how they did it right here where it's question okay? That's how some people are starting to write, just to save them a stroke. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, whatever. I mean, you know, it is what it is. That's the example that they gave you in there. The question, yes, period. And that's the way you define it.
Me too.
Oh, that to me looks like gibberish.
Yeah.
That was a complete misstroke for me. If I wrote it like that, I promise you it was a complete misstroke. So I don't do the stacking thing, but if you do, that's how you define it.
I tried, and we had to do feedback from our notes. Like, I have no idea what it's like.
Exactly. And but I mean, the bad thing about, I mean, it's kind of crazy, is that if you knew it up here and you stroked it there, then you know it. You just don't know it on the notes.
Yeah.
So you know it, you just don't know it.
Yeah.
You just don't know you know it. Does that make sense? So that's why when you practice, guys, read from your notes. I don't care if you're doing real time or not. Get to the point where your notes are on the side and read from your notes. Okay? That's how you're going to learn how to read your notes. And that's how it's going to come quicker. Because you'll be surprised, you know, how many classes I've given and we, you know, pull up a tape and it's like, okay, read that back. They're going fine. All of a sudden there's something, can't read it. But what do you have? Have it stroked correctly. What is that? I have no idea. Well, you knew it enough here to stroke it there, but you don't know how to read it, and you don't know what it is. Kind of weird how your brain works that way?
Yeah.
But your eyes just aren't used to seeing it. It's not that your brain doesn't register it, because obviously it registered it enough to where you stroked it, but you're just not used to seeing it. The more you see it, hit it, see it, hit it, it's going to come, you know, like night and day. You know, so it's going to come to you quicker. You're not going to have to think about it, and that's all this is, guys, is repetition. Okay?
Okay. Next.
All right. Okay, that's the end of that lesson. Any questions about that lesson at all? No? All right. This is going to kind of explain prefixes and suffixes, kind of something we already went over, but it's still going to kind of tell you. All right?
Let's see how Total Eclipse handles prefixes and suffixes. Your Steno dictionary probably includes common prefixes to hook onto a following word and suffixes to hook onto a previous word. Eclipse does a great job of adjusting spellings as it adds prefixes and suffixes, but please remember, it will only adjust the spellings if braces surround both the delete space symbol and the prefix or suffix text. Eclipse will not automatically adjust spellings if only the delete space symbol is within braces. Eclipse comes with a prefixes and suffixes kit with a dictionary that includes several hundred entries. All you have to do is decide whether you want to use the steno that is given as an example, or press the Enter key to get inside and change the steno to something that you know you would write. The documentation shows how these prefixes and suffixes, added to common root words, could help translate uncommon words beautifully. Much more could be said about prefixes and suffixes, but this is the subject of a separate in-depth ePower video tutorial which shows you step by step how to take advantage of the prefixes and suffixes kit.
Understand that?
Really didn't image, just prefix and suffixes, right?
Yeah. But there's
Let's see how Total Eclipse handles prefixes and suffixes. Suffixes. Your Steno dictionary probably includes common prefixes to hook onto a following word, and suffixes to hook onto a previous word.
And that's just what I was telling you guys earlier about the positioning of the caret. Okay? That's going to determine whether it's a prefix or a suffix. Okay? So you don't want to misplace that caret. Okay?
Eclipse does a great job of adjusting spellings as it adds prefixes and suffixes.
What it's explaining here is that, like, if you have a word, like dared, he dared me to do it. Dare is D-A-R-E, dare. Well, you came back D. The way that you do this here, and the way that you put it as a suffix, knows that it needs to drop one of the E's and leave the ED. It already knows how to do it by doing it this way. With the brackets, caret, ED as the suffix. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It already knows to do it. So anything that needs to be IED, ED, any of that stuff, you don't have to define it as IED, ED, whatever. It already knows to do it. Okay? By putting this, just ED knows how to do it. Okay? Like even if you do storied, a storied tale, it knows to drop the Y, add an I, ED. It already knows to do it. You don't have to do it. Okay? That makes sense?
But please remember, it will only adjust the spellings if braces surround both the delete space symbol and the prefix or suffix text. Eclipse will not automatically adjust.
You see what it's doing here? This is the wrong way to do it. It doesn't know what to do with that. What it's going to do, I don't even know what it's going to do. I don't know what it does right there if you just kind of leave it like that. I mean, it adds it. What it's going to do here, not necessarily, I mean, I'm trying to think of a way, but like right there, it's not going to know to put the IED. Drop the Y, it's just going to put the ED. So all it's telling it to do right here, that's the way that you do it if you want two words to stay together. So all it's telling it to do is put the ED with it no matter what. Not to change it, it's not going to change it. So if you put dared and you defined it like this, it's going to be D-A-R-E-E-D. The read. Whatever. That's what it's going to come up as because it doesn't know how to do it. With the brackets, the caret ED, it knows what to do already. This way, all it's telling it to do is just put the two words together. So you put the ED with it no matter what. Make sense? See?
Sí.
No?
Sí.
Órale. All right. That's what it's telling it to do.
The spellings if only the delete space symbol is within braces. Eclipse comes with a prefixes and suffixes kit with a dictionary that includes several hundred entries. All you have to do is decide whether you want to use the steno that is given as an example, or press the enter key to get inside and change the steno to something that...
Do you understand what it's saying there? So if you want to change it, you can. It's not that big of a deal, because if that's the way that you stroke it, if you're ridiculous enough to stroke it like this, ING, one, you're probably not going to be here long. But you're, I mean, I'm making fun. If you stroke it that way, then you stroke it that way, and all you need to do is define it, because sooner or later you're going to do it. So if they're giving you the G and you're using it as the suffix, it's just a bracket, caret, ing, close bracket. It knows what to do. But if you do it ing, then all you have to do is define it as that. Okay? And it's just telling you that that's the way that you do it. Go in here to enter properties, go to steno, tell it that you want to change it or whatever, what the text is, and then change it. Okay? Make sense?
That you know you would write. The documentation shows how these prefixes and suffixes, added to common root words, could help translate uncommon words beautifully. Much more could be said about prefixes and suffixes.
Okay. Any questions about that? I'm going to show you something pretty neat. I think it's pretty neat. And I think I've already showed you guys. So if you're in here, you're in HyperKeys, and say you want to say it was managing conservators. Do y'all know how to put endings? Have we gone over that? W. W gives you prefixes and suffixes. It's just W. Yeah. But you have to be in HyperKeys. HyperKeys just W. So it's going to be small w. It's not shift W, okay? Shift W is going to do something else, and I'm not quite sure what it does right now. But it's W. So say I want it to be conservators. I push S, and I'm going to show you why. Because S is a suffix for S, for plural. Okay? That's why. S puts conservators on there. Okay? Say you want it to be, I don't even know if it'll do it, but conservative. Let's see if it'll go back. Okay. I don't know if it'll do it or not, but sometimes if it's not a word, sometimes it won't do it. But let's just see if it'll do it. We'll just put I for ability, and it already knows to do it. Conservability. See what it's doing there? Or you push G for ing. It's not really a word, so it kind of puts it like that. That's why it does it like that. Conservatoring. Not really a word, so that's kind of why it does it kind of crazy like that. So you can push W and you can see all of the ones that it has. BLY, BLE, IVE, ED, EST, all of them. The isms, NES, ATE, the ology. I mean, so it's really helpful, guys. That's one you want to write down. Write that down, because that one, you'll use it quite a bit. Here it's just telling you that the caret just deletes the space. Here, this is what I was telling you guys earlier, you don't have to define it as the proper spelling. It knows what to do. So if it's an ER, but like you wrote create and it was ER and you wrote it ER, it knows to write it as OR because creator isn't a word, ER. It's OR. That makes sense? So it already knows how to do it. You don't have to define it as that. You don't have to overthink this, guys. It does it for you. Okay? And how this is kind of stacking, you know, and where it would have been a final G, that's the way you define it. As a suffix, the. Does that make sense to you guys? How many times am I going to say that? 40. Okay, so you come here, and that's what we were talking about. Highlight it. It already knows kind of what you're doing. Y'all see that? Which one do y'all think it is? If somebody gets it wrong, they're getting back with this thing. That just means y'all weren't listening.
3.
Huh?
3.
Do y'all agree that it's 3? Hello? Huh?
It's stacked, right?
What's that?
I can't see that.
I can't see that.
Come sit right here, little man. Anybody else can't see?
It's stacked, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, 3.
So number 3 is correct. Okay? Can you really not see that far? Dude.
I need to get more contacts.
I can see that.
No, sit closer next time. Okay? I don't care if you have to sit up here. I really don't. So, I mean, I want you to be able to see because this is important stuff. And, you know, if it's something like that, don't sit, you know, back in the back or, you know, whatever. Don't be scared about sitting up front. It only hurts for a little bit, right? It's like, so, yes, it is number 3. So all it's doing is stacking. So you pick number 3. It already knows what to do. Enter. Already did it. You didn't have to, hang on just a second. You didn't have to drop the E off of posture. It already knew how to do it. It already knew to drop the E, add the ing. Okay?
I'm still at the same issue from last week, where you get the steno on the right-hand side, I don't get it. See how you got your steno?
Yeah. We messed with that last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really not that important because you can see it here.
That's fine.
You can see it here, but you're gonna know when it comes up on yours that that's what it's doing.
Okay.
And if you ever have any questions, call me, text me, email me, whatever. I mean, I'll sit down with you and try to figure it out or whatever. So don't.
We have the Kim Possible stuff.
The what? About the what?
You got it.
Wow, they're making me choke right now.
About the what?
It's a cartoon.
It's like a
from
cartoon.
back in the day.
It's like the song, like to the call me, beat me, or something
It's
like
just that. We'll just say, call me, beat me if you want to reach me.
that.
Oh, Kim Possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't do that. Don't do any of that. Same thing right here, guys. I'm going to show you one more. Go down there. Control G highlights it. What do you think it was trying to do?
Easier
Yeah.
question. Or question.
So 6.
Yeah, number 6.
Y'all agree? Number 6? It's number 6.
Yeah.
Push 6. See what it's doing here? Adding the suffix, question, when. It stacked it. It stacked the question, suffix, when. Okay? Enter, that's what it did. It knew to drop the Y, add the IER, just by adding the ER. That's it. That's all you did. That's all you defined it as. Okay? It already knows what to do. Don't overthink it. It already knows what to do.
Occasionally, you'll need to add a prefix or suffix while editing. You can click on a toolbar icon or open the edit menu to insert a prefix or suffix, or press hyperkey W. At this dialog, G is a shortcut. And this time I'll use the shortcut D. And of course, these suffixes were added with the proper spelling adjustments. Much more could be said about prefixes and suffixes, but this is the subject of a separate in-depth ePower video tutorial which shows you step by step how to take advantage of the prefixes and suffixes kit.
Pretty self-explanatory there, guys. Anybody not understand that? It's stuff that I just went over. But I'll show you.
Occasionally, you'll need to add a prefix or suffix while editing. You can click on a toolbar icon or open the edit menu to insert a prefix or suffix, or press hyperkey W. At this dialog, G.
What they're going to do here, and what they've done, is they added the letters to the easiest thing that it symbolizes. Does that make sense? So ing is G, S is ES, R is ER. You know, there's some other ones. A for 8 for BLY, which is usually ABLY or IBLY. B for BLE, C for CY. Okay? So what they try to do is try to keep it as close to the meaning of what you're trying to do. So you don't have to really think about it. Okay? So funny. You're laughing. The space bar. Only been doing this about, what, 8 weeks now, guys?
Really already?
Quick learners. Quick. So that's how you do it, okay? So it all relates to what you're trying to do. And they try to make it as simple as possible. Okay?
E is a shortcut. And this time I'll use the shortcut D. And of course these
And you see what it did there? By doing occur, just had the one R, it knew to add the other R and the ED. So it already knows what to do. You don't have to overthink it. It already knows what to do.
suffixes were added with the proper spelling adjustments. Much more could be said about prefixes and suffixes, but this is the subject of a separate in-depth ePower video tutorial which shows you step by step how to take advantage of the prefixes and suffixes kit.
Any questions?